Hi, thank you for joining us today for the 15th episode of Nima Voices, a virtual interview series. My name is Wesley Ueunten. Before we go on to interview one of my favorite persons in the world, Tonouchi, let me introduce myself. Um, Again, my name is Wesley, and I was born on the island of Kauai, born and raised there. And somehow I made it to the Bay Area in California, and I teach at San Francisco State University. I'm currently the chair of the Asian American Studies Department. So before we start the program, I'd like to briefly introduce the Discover Nikkei project and the Nima Voices series. Discover Nikkei is the Japanese American National Museum's international community-based web project with major funding from the Nippon Foundation, and it was launched in 2005. The site is in four languages: English, Japanese, Spanish, and Portuguese, and maybe now Pidgin, and shares unique Nikkei stories around the world from throughout the US, Brazil, Japan, Peru, Canada, Argentina, Mexico, and other countries around the world. New stories are published daily on the website. Nima, Nima are members of the Discover Nikkei online community, hailing from all over the world. They each bring unique experiences and perspectives to the site's rich archive of stories. Nima Voices is an interview series where we uplift our Nima through brief but enlightening interviews. In this 15th episode, I will be talking with Lee A. Tonouchi, an Okinawan Yonsei and poet slash writer slash playwright. Discover Nikkei began sharing articles by Lee in 2023, originally introduced through their relationship with the Hawaii Herald. We will be chatting about growing up in Hawaii, why he believes Pidgin should be recognized as a language, about Okinawan culture and its diaspora, and pursuing the arts and humanities in Okinawan and Japanese American communities. After my conversation with Lee, I will ask him some of your questions. So use the chat feature to ask questions at any time, and I'll get to a few of them at the end of the conversation. You will need to be logged in to use the chat feature. We will also be sharing links to the articles we mentioned in the chat. So with that, let me get into the interview, and I might go in and out of Pidgin English, which was the language I grew up with. But it's such a pleasure and honor to do this interview with Lee. Um, so Lee, how's it?
Wes, how's it? How's it?
How's it? Tell us briefly about your family background. Uh, where you was born and where you grew up. Where were you born and where did you grow up?
Okay, so I'm a local Okinawan Yonsei. Yeah, my family them they all came from Maui. I was born and raised on Oahu. Grew up in Kamaki and Aiea. 100% Uchinanchu. Yeah, so all my great grandparents, yeah, they all came from Okinawa. So I get plenty villages. Yeah, so um, my Tonouchi grandpa side, my great grandpa stayed from Miwason, and that great grandma stayed from Nishihara son Kochimura. So they was from two different villages. My Tonouchi grandma side, yeah, that set of great grandparents stay from those was from Manabe son. My
Ah,
Taira grandpa side, those great grandparents stay from Nishihara son Goya. My Taira grandma side, those great grandparents stay from Shimajiri Unaha. Yeah, so when my mom was young, she wanted to learn music, yeah, but my grandpa told her, no, no can't. Music is only for the rich guys. So it was very interesting that when my Kamiki grandparents when retire, they took up Okinawan music.
oh,
Yeah, and
wow.
so my mom passed away when I was 2. Yeah, so I stayed with my Kamiki grandparents for several years, and I grew up in one home in Palolo Valley, and it was filled with Okinawan music. Yeah, so Wes, I was thinking, forgive the viewers one idea of what my house sounded like.
Oh,
Yeah, I know you can play sanshin. You like try bust out some jams
I
or
gotta
what?
go look for one then. I think get one around here. Oh, just happen to have one right here.
All
Let me
right.
get there. All right. So you like I play? Let me.
Of course.
Okay.
Wes, you broke in the number one rule of sanshin, bro.
What rule
Number
that?
one rule, Wes. When you play a sanshin, you gotta
Oh,
sing.
sing. Okay. I
Hana
gotta.
ho, hana ho.
Okay, let me see what I can do. Abiyama yadoi kusanu yane anumakoda. Kind of like that.
All right. You awesome, bro. So that's how my house sounded, right? Except, we had more people singing, yeah. But then because my grandparents, right, they always had their friends, they was always practicing, right, for whatever performance was going to be coming up next. So small kid time, but I used to get mad whenever all these old Okinawan people came over, right? Because, while they was playing music and dancing, it meant that I no could watch TV, yeah? So I had to stay in my room and read, bro. But, I guess that's why I came on writer, right? So, yeah, so I was very blessed, yeah, for grow up in one house, that had live Okinawan music every night. Yeah, but I always associated Okinawan things with the old people, yeah, when I was growing up. So I wish, I appreciated it more at the time.
Yeah, but thanks to that, you read a lot and became a writer. So, what was it like growing up in Hawaii?
Okay,
Was it fun?
so my great grandparents and some of my grandparents, right, they could talk Okinawan, right? But by the time it came to my parents' generation, they maybe only knew some of the vocabularies, right? So my primary language was Pidgin, right? So by the time it came to me, right, I would have to ask, like what the heck is megosa? Yeah, I didn't know all these Okinawan words, right?
Know that word.
So I identify with being local Okinawan. My grandma would say things that I always thought, was so embarrassing, yeah, grandma. So I go share with you now a poem, yeah, from my.
Okay. So before you do the poem, what is megosa?
Oh, see, I don't know because I was a good boy, yeah. But megosa, I found out is like a knuckle wrap to the head, yeah. So if somebody, some parent or some grandparent gives you like a megosa, that means you was bad. You did something naughty, yeah. But I never know, right? Because I a good boy, right? Okay, anyhow. Oh, why, Wes? You got plenty of megosa, Wes.
Not that much, but I did. So sorry.
Oh yeah. So I'm gonna share with you a poem now this is from my Pidgin poetry collection, Significant Moments in the Life of Oriental Father and Son. Okay, so this is my grandma, okay? What village you from? Grandma asks my friends with Okinawan last names. I don't know why, because she always gets disappointed when they tell Palolo. Yes, I used to hide my face, bro, yeah, when my grandma would ask, questions about the village people. Because by the time it came to my generation, yeah, nobody knew about villages, yeah. Plus, the more generations down the line, the more villages get, yeah. I don't think the old people realize that, right? Because, like my great grandpa, he just had to remember one village. Yeah, easy, right? So even food wise, right? The generations would follow, like a similar trajectories, yeah. My great grandparents, yeah, they could make all different kind of Okinawan dishes with all the pig parts, yeah, because they raise their own pig, right? So intestine, liver, ear, tail, feet, everything, right? They could break down the pig, they cook them and eat them. My grandma, they would help cook and eat. My father's generation would just eat, and by the time it came to me, I never even know I had those kind of dishes, huh? But when my Maui grandma told me, of all the kind of stuff that they used to make with the pig, like medicinal soup with the pig brains. Yeah? All I could think was like, it's like the kind Indiana Jones, bro. I was like, ew. Yeah, so I'm gonna share with you now this poem. Yeah, it's from the same book, Significant Moments in the Life of Oriental Father and Son. So this is a poem that kind of reflects my own local Okinawan identity, and it's kind of the food that was more, I guess, my speed. Yeah, this one is called Culture Day. Teacher like us present one food from our culture group and bring them to class for share with everybody on Culture Day. Grandma says Okinawans get andagi. But too dangerous, teach me make, because the oil hot, abunai, but by the oil fly, I might get burned. Maori grandma tells me how Okinawans is famous for pig, but all the pig part dishes they used to make, I think, is kind of gross. So I like get one good grade, and since my cooking abilities is limited to foods I can microwave, I decide for chop up some spam. I cut them in cubes and yuck them on high. When pow, after the thing die, I throw one toothpick in each one for make little bit fancy, for add a little bit of extra class. I figure teacher gonna love my spam poo-poos, cause it's like instead of all the pig organs being in separate dishes, everything all stay in one dish. It's like eating 12 Okinawan dishes all one time. So without going into too many embarrassing details, I just give my speech about how Okinawans love pig and how spam get all the pig components that Okinawans love best. So in a way, I say my spam poo-poos is actually super Okinawan. Oh, but from the grade I get, I can tell teacher must not be into the kind modern Okinawan cuisine. All right. Yeah, so that's kind of reflective of who I am, yeah, local Okinawan.
Kind of like spam, yeah. All kinds of stuff. Super. All mixed up in a super combination. I was wondering, uh, in terms of cultural identity, Hawaii's Japanese American community is very different from the ones on the mainland. But similarly, Okinawan communities, not just in Hawaii, tend to have stronger cultural ties and connections compared to other Nikkei. So, Okinawans have these really tight cultural connections to Okinawa and Okinawan culture. Why do you think like that? How come like that? Why do you think that is?
I thought we were skipping that question, Wes. I never know we was doing that one. I never think about that one.
Oh, there's a sociological. I
Can you
wonder
think?
why, yeah. Wait, you think it's because uh was kind of we were kind of shame, yeah, sometimes about Okinawan culture, and so maybe because we shame, we think about it more.
Yeah, probably because my grandma, she always emphasized the fact, she would say, you Okinawan, you Okinawan, you're not Japanese, right? And she would tell me how like the Japanese people before time, they never liked Okinawans, right? So she would tell, but um that wasn't really things I saw, right? Like amongst my peers, like we all got along. Like it doesn't matter you Filipino, Japanese, Chinese, Portuguese, right? We never care. We never tease. Well, we would tease each other, but would be more like jokingly, kind of like lovingly kind, right? Yeah.
Well, personally, what do you identify most strongly with? Uh, Japanese or Japanese American, Okinawan, Okinawan American. Like you and I, we're not native Hawaiian, so we cannot claim to be Hawaiian. But how about local? Which identity you feel strongest or
Uh,
have the strongest affinity to?
so in terms of my writing, yeah, I started off mostly focusing on local, yeah, because for me, like Pidgin was my main thing, yeah. But then later on, like when I had children's, and I was finding that I want them to have like these things written about Okinawan, right? Like I was all mad, but I cannot find Okinawan children's picture books, right? So for a couple of years I was mad until finally I said, hey, I'm one writer, I should go write one, right? And so that's what made me write Okinawan Princess Legend of Hagichi Tattoos, right? So what's the question again? Yeah. So later on, it became because as the grandparents passed away, as my dad guys passed away. Pretty soon, I was the elder now. I was the oldest person. So who gonna be responsible now for passing along the Okinawan culture? Right. That responsibility was now my responsibility. Right. Yeah. So
I
you
see.
have children. I felt I got to be more Okinawan now.
Uh, well, writing is a really powerful tool. I wish I could write better. It takes me so long to write one paragraph.
Bro, I seen you write. I was inspired by your writing for go write my piece. You saw right? You gotta give yourself more
It took me
credit.
so long to write one paragraph, and but I wish, and I cannot write poems. So I wish I could. I think we all need more poetry in our lives. But I was going to ask, how come you start writing? What got you interested in writing? Was that something your family was accepting of, or they went, "How come you do that kind of stuff?"
Okay. This is all kind of tied to my becoming like the Pidgin Guerrilla, yeah. Because growing up, I never dreamed I would ever be one writer, right? Because I never saw any like models, yeah. Teachers always told me, Lee, you write like how you talk, right? Like that's some bad thing, right? But to me, I felt that writing never reflect the world that existed around me, okay? Because the world around me had words like Bombay, that kind like that, right? But how come I couldn't have it in writing? So it wasn't until I took English 256 poetry and drama from Rob Wilson at UH, and he was using a textbook called The Best of Bamboo Ridge. He was using this along with stuff like Shakespeare and Faulkner. So he exposed me to local literature, right? And I was very fortunate because at that time, all my classmates, all of them went through their whole college careers never being exposed to no local literature, right? So I was exposed to that textbook. Inside that book had one poem, Tutu on the Curb. It's a pigeon poem. Yeah, it was written by Eric Chalk, and I was blown away. I was like, wow, get guys writing in pigeon. And we studying them in college. Wow, that means you gotta be smart, bro, right? For study pigeon. Yeah, so that led me on my journey, yeah, to becoming the Pidgin Guerrilla.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I gotta tell you personally, because you opened up that you made it possible. Or for me, I used to always be so self-conscious about the way I talk and my accent, but through work, I feel a lot more comfortable with the way I sound. Like before before time when I used to listen to recordings of my voice, I go, that sounds so strange. No sound like the people on TV on the radio. So thank you for that, Lee. Um, you've shared several stories on Discover Nikkei in your Much Mahalos series, in which you talk story with accomplished and up and coming Japanese and Okinawan Americans from Hawaii. Um, how do you select the interviews? Which interviews have been the most memorable and why?
Okay, so when I choose the peoples, I try to choose interesting local Japanese or local Okinawan people from very diverse fields. Yeah, because I'm a writer, I know a lot of writers, right? But I don't want to only do writers. Yeah, so for my first five, right, I had a graphic designer, one comic strip artist, one stand-up comic, one musician slash language activist, and one crafting celebrity. Yeah, so I just try. I like to try and I keep it varied. As for my most memorable piece, yeah. So they say, you always remember your first time. Yeah? So my first piece that got published in Discover Nikkei, that one actually came from like the Hawai'i Herald. So this was kind of the piece that got me the gig now, right over here. So that one was called Hajichi Stories. Three local women tell why they got their Okinawan hand tattoos. And this
Right.
piece is special to me, right? Because it kind of wrote itself, yeah. Because I never have to go looking for these stories, but these stories was just finding their way to me. It was like the universe was telling me, "Hey, Lee, you gotta document these stories, right?" But the only problem was, I never know how I was going to find one of the women because I had randomly ran into her in the takeout line buying Simon at Shiro's. I saw her hand, right? So I asked her, "Hey, is that design? Is that like Okinawan?" And we started talking story, and then I never saw her again, right? So I never even know her name, right? So I pitched this story, not knowing how I was going to find her. So, but luckily she found me, yeah. Because Sarah Tamashiro Kuaiwa, she came to our book launch for Chiburu. Where's Chiburu? I have my Chiburu book. Oh, where did I put my Chiburu book? Oh, here it is. Okay, yeah. So she came to our book launch, and then I said, "Hey, you the girl I was looking for, yeah." So it's super awesome, right? For here all these young local Okinawan women who was proud of their Hajichi tattoos, right? Because my great grandma, she was ashamed of hers. Yeah, my
Mm.
great grandma said that when she died, she wanted to be put in the casket with gloves on, yeah, because she never let
Oh,
nobody see her tattoos. So I
huh.
felt the universe made me write that piece, right? And it was that piece that led me here, and I felt like everything was falling into place.
Wow. That remind me of my grandmother. She had tattoos, but
Oh yeah,
take picture. She kind of deftly hid the tattoos. So when I look at
yeah,
pictures of her, cannot see the tattoos.
yeah. It's like they never let people see, yeah.
Uh,
And so that's actually kind of sad.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. First time I heard about that, the glove story though. Um, well, who would you be interested in interviewing in the future?
Okay, we're talking dream scenario. So typically, right, when I track people down, usually I know somebody who knows the person, because Hawaii is so small, right? When you get like 2 degrees of separation, but so far I don't know nobody who knows Carrie Ann Inaba from Dancing with the Stars. So
Oh,
if there any viewers out there who know Carrie Ann, go tell her, hey, Lee like talk story with you, bro.
it'll happen. We send them out there and going to happen.
Yeah.
Why is it important to you to share your stories through Discover Nikkei?
Okay, so my series, they called Much Mahalos, right? Where I talk to successful and up and coming local Japanese and local Okinawan peoples. And because we're talking story, right? So they're telling their story in their own words. So, we kind of capturing their oral history. Yeah. We are documenting their voices that might not get too much coverage otherwise, right? From the mainstream medias. Yeah. So that's important work. Yeah.
Yeah, that is to give voices to people, what we say on the margins, the people on the margins. Important work. So, upcoming projects. What else you working on? Any new books coming up?
um,
Gotta think about that.
I think jumping ahead too. Where's that question? Okay. As long as we go back, I think you would jump to the end question, Wes. No,
Oh, uh, maybe not, but um,
we can do that one, but as long as we come back to the other one, because I
oh,
wanted to talk. I wanted to talk about my
okay.
grandma. He's gonna ask me
Oh yeah.
about.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so I think the question before that one was the Much Mahalo series is about gratitude. So he's gonna ask me who I'm
Oh,
most grateful to, right?
oh yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. So sorry, my
No,
bad.
no,
But
that's good.
the give
You,
and
you like
take.
keep me on my toes, huh? You,
So
you
the
know this live, that's why. Huh?
yeah, yeah, I have then. So
Oh yeah.
my apologies, but yeah, much mahalos means much thank yous and much gratitude. But um, yeah, could you talk about who you're most grateful for? Who do you have the most gratitude for?
Oh yeah. So my grandma was my biggest fan. Huh? So when I had my first play at Kumukuhua Theater, the premiere was on a Thursday night. Huh? So I figured, I go bring my grandma on the weekend, right? Because Thursday night gonna be hard for bring her, yeah, because she lived in a retirement community all the way in Mililani, and the theater is in downtown Honolulu. I figured I'd go bring her on the weekend. It's the premiere, right? Thursday night. So come to find out, my grandma on her own, she rented one bus, bro, and she got all the old people from the retirement community. They all came on the bus to Kumukuhua Theater. And this is like late at night. I think this is the latest they ever stayed out. Yeah. So they all came down to see my play. I was like, wow, so cool, my grandma. When my first book came out, my Pidgin short story collection called The Word, when that one came out from Bamboo Ridge Press, my grandma wanted to make andagi, right, for the launch party. I said, grandma, no need, because it's going to be at Campus Center. Catering going to be by Marriott. No need to make anything. But she said, no, no can have party without andagi. I said, grandma, they're expecting like 300 people. No need to make. Yeah. But she made, everybody was so happy. Yeah. She made andagi. Oh,
How many did
okay.
she make?
So,
How many did she
so,
make?
huh?
How many andagi did she make?
She made quite a lot. I don't know. It disappeared so fast. So my grandma is passed away now, yeah, but I will share now with you a poem, right, from the anthology I edited called Chiburu Anthology of Hawaii Okinawan Literature. I know you know, Wes, yeah, but for the people who don't know, right, I get a lot of good pieces in this book, yeah. So we get what might be the last interview with John Shirota. We get pieces by the Okinawan Hama, Brandon Ufugusuku Ing. We get pieces by Ukwanshin Kabudan. Even get one song, super cool song by Wesley himself. And make sure you check out the book. So anyhow, so my contribution to the book is a poem I wrote. That's a touching and loving poem that's dedicated to my grandma. Yeah. So the poem I want to share is called "She Becomes the Andagi Nazi." People always say my grandma makes the best andagi. Usually my grandma one nice lady, but I don't know who she is when I bring home andagi from someplace else. Because she always got to get something for say. And it's not, oh, thank you. Oh, this one, no enough cook. Oil gotta be hot, you know. How come so small? Orosen grape. Funny kind of color. This no egg yolk. Food coloring must be. Andagi gotta be round. What shape this? Oh, too much one time they fry. That's why come koge. How much they sell this? And oh no, buy next time. No more the taste. Where this from? Health food store. People all say my grandma makes the best andagi. And my grandma thinks so too.
Uh, Let me ask you a
So
question.
Wes,
Your grandma used to
oh, I
make a
went,
tail on the andagi.
yeah, I don't know. She could do them like I don't know how she could drop I can make the batter, but dropping is like one
And yeah,
skill, huh?
yeah.
Yeah, but she never like teach me. She only like teach the girl cousins. I don't know
Oh,
why she never like teach me how for drop.
uh,
Yeah,
uh,
sexist. Yeah,
yeah. Well,
I think I should write one new poem about that sexist grammar.
okay. Well, we get time yet. We can learn how to drop them by hand. Kind of a dying art, though. But let's see. Uh, well, maybe we can ask you about upcoming projects.
Okay. Uh,
Sorry about that. I jumped ahead on the questions, but
okay.
any
So,
new coming up?
okay. So writers, right? We're always working on stuff, right? Just a matter of when is the thing gonna come out? So I'm working on an Okinawan children's picture book about a shisa. Yeah, I'm doing that one with my friend Tessa. I'm working with my cousin Jenny Tyra and my cousin-in-law Laurie Rubin on a musical adaptation
Hmm.
of Okinawan Princess. Yeah, Okinawan Princess: The Legend of Hajichi Tattoos. Um, I wrote 10,000 plays for Harry Wong at Kumakuho Theater, yeah, but I don't know when he's going to do any of them. And then me, Laura Kina, and Wes, yeah, we stay working on one new top secret exciting project. Secret. Shh.
Okay, no, can't tell nobody then.
Yeah. Oh, that's
So
it. Why? That's plenty. Oh, how hard you
plenty.
let me work, Wes?
When you get time for sleep, bro. I like to remind those of you watching, if you haven't already, please post your questions for Lee in the chat. You can do it now, and I could pick a few and ask Lee. But while we're waiting for questions to come on, oh wait, actually we do have one. Let me see. Hey, maybe you know this person. Shari. Shari says, you advocating for return to Pidgin from back then, uh, like the kind in Polole, you speak me that Larry Kimura wrote, or you just happy if anyone speaks any kind Pidgin. um, uh, she asks, do you think out of all the Okinawan communities around the world, Hawaii loves Andagi the most? Is Andagi
This question is
more
all from
popular in
Sharon. How many
Hawaii?
questions should I ask?
Oh, the one. Do you think of out of all the Okinawan communities around the world, Hawaii loves Andagi the most?
Uh, that's hard for say. I don't know, but I think our version's still different, right? I think ours is a little bit more sweeter. Yeah.
Sweeter and
So
yeah,
probably if the Okinawan people came to Hawaii, they're gonna say ours. Oh, that's not real andagi, right? It's gonna seem like too sweet for them.
yeah. I noticed the Andagi in Okinawa is kind of a little bit bigger, yeah. Like like almost like a baseball. Some of them.
Yeah.
Um,
So size is also like something for think about too. I used to encourage my grandma for make small kind, because us children we like the crispy part, but
oh yeah,
she
yeah.
refused to budge. It has to be her perfect size. I mean, no can be smaller.
Uh, gotta fit her
Yeah.
hand this way. Um,
Oh yeah,
You
so the
think
perfect size is whatever size her hand is. That to her, that's
yeah,
the
that's the
perfect size, you know.
perfect size in the world? That's your grandma. You think andagi more popular in Hawaii uh, or in Okinawa? Where they call them sahata andagi in Okinawa.
I don't know. I never been Okinawa, so Wes, I think you go answer this one.
Oh, I think um, per capita andagi more popular in Hawaii.
Ah,
Okinawa get andagi plenty andagi, but I think people in Hawaii have a special connection to andagi. So per capita consumption of andagi in Hawaii, just like spam, right?
so
It's highest.
I'm gonna say something that might make you think a little bit, huh? Okay,
Uh,
so maybe you observe in the store when you're in Okinawa, maybe you observe people not buying, but maybe that's because in Okinawa, maybe everybody know how to make their own. That's why, right? So, but
getting
in
rid,
Hawaii, people buy because they don't know how to make their own.
yeah,
So it's kind of hard to get data. I think
yeah,
Shari got to go research this project, bro.
gotta
It's
go
going to involve eating a lot of andagi, so I think she gonna like
in Okinawa.
research
And
it.
in Brazil, Peru, Argentina. So gotta travel. Let's see. Maybe I can move on to some rapid fire questions. You ready for that? Rapid fire,
Okay,
the fast kind questions.
okay.
So in every episode of Nima Voices, we ask guests these same set of rapid fire questions. Uh, so please, whatever come to your mind. Okay, I'm gonna just shoot them out at you. Who's your Nikkei hero?
Kikaira and Mr. Miyagi.
Kikaida. I remember Kikaida. Jiro change that one, right? Okay. What is your favorite Japanese or Nikkei food?
So I gotta
That's
say my favorite Okinawan food, right? Gotta be my grandma's andagi, of course. You like her
easy.
get
Of
mad, huh,
course.
bro? I gotta
Yeah.
say grandma's
She won't give
andagi.
you nekosa. What is the Japanese value or Okinawan value that has most influenced you?
Okay, so this one is actually one long answer. Huh? So I have to think long time, right? So my grandma never teach me the expression "icha riba chode," but she would show me through her actions, right, like that. So the phrase means something like once we meet, even though maybe we never met before, right? We stay friends for life now, right? So I remember when I used to chauffeur her to see all these Okinawan dance performances, right? As soon as we go inside the hall, oh, she would ditch me, bro. She'd make one beeline straight for the front, right? And so by the time I catch up with her, oh, I see she's sitting down by somebody already, and no more space now for me, right? So I gotta go sit in the back someplace. Yeah. So later on, I ask her, oh, how you got the good seat? The lady in the front, was that your good friend or something? She said, oh no, they just met. So so I found out that her secret, right, to making friends with all the old Okinawan people is hard candy. Yeah, so she would go bring, like hard candy, like coffee candy. Yeah, she would offer like coffee candy. She'd go make the friend, and then she can sit down. She makes she get on a good seat, right? So yeah, so
Yeah.
that's I don't know.
Oh,
Bam, that's how you become friends.
uh, cool. Um, what do you like most about Discover Nikkei?
I think you get to learn about little known histories. Like for example, let me think. Okay, like Auden Hayashi's piece, yeah, no more euphemisms. My mother was a hostage, yeah. So that one talks about the civilian prisoner exchange in World War II, right, between Japan and the U.S. Yeah, so it's the kind of stuff like that I think is important for passed down. Yeah?
Mhm,
Stuff that otherwise might not get passed down.
mhm. Uh, well, while we're waiting for more questions from the audience, I got some. I'm gonna ask you questions. I promise it's not gonna be hard, but um,
Okay.
let me try this question. If you could travel in time anywhere, where would you go, or
um,
what year or what time would you go to?
so in this time travel scenario, like if I encounter my younger self, is something bad gonna happen? Is the world gonna end if I encounter
No, no, no,
myself?
no, no. You
No,
can talk to yourself.
I can talk to myself.
Yeah,
Or
I mean,
or
you
like
can.
if I go back to a younger me, am I inhabiting the body of the younger me? But I have like
Oh,
I have my old brain now.
No, I think you yourself, you go back and you meet the younger version of you.
I meet the younger me. Okay, I will probably go back and tell the younger me who's growing up in Palolo Valley, listening to all these old people come over playing Okinawan songs, no can watch TV. I would say, uh, learn now while you can, yeah, because my grandparents actually wanted me to learn, right, all these things, right, they wanted me to learn like sanshin, yeah, but later on when I wanted to, this is when I was in college now, so I wanted to learn. I asked my grandma, and then she gave me 2 lessons, and she gave up. She said, "Too hard, yeah, too hard teach you." Right? But if I had learned when I was young, yeah, maybe I would have chance, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I'll ask one more. So I know in our conversations, we talk about becoming parents, right? Um, and so I was wondering what Japanese or Okinawan or local value would you want to pass down to your kids?
Um, I don't know if it's one specific one like that has one saying, but I just hope they realize like the value of culture. Yeah, 'cause that wasn't something I grew up realizing that we should have, right? Like my pigeon culture, I never saw that as something that was valuable. That was something that was always frowned upon on, right? In school, right? Teachers always say, if you like go bathroom, you got to say, may I please use the restroom, right? You cannot say, oh, teacher, can go bathroom, right? So pigeon culture, I was always taught that's not something you should be proud of, right? Same way like Okinawan culture, yeah. Well, I think the problem was I only saw old people doing Okinawan culture, so I was associated with that's for the old people, right? So it's interesting. Like my children, like they decided they wanted to do like Okinawan lion dance, yeah, because they saw um some younger people doing it, yeah. So I think that's pretty cool, yeah.
Hmm, thank you for that. Yeah, I guess it comes down to being proud of yourself, and yeah, appreciating who you are and appreciating our ancestors. Um, I, I
So
guess.
Wes, like for you,
Oh yeah, go ahead.
for you, like when you learn sanshin, you learned when you was young or when you came older?
Oh, actually, I wanted to learn. Like I wanted to learn when I was young, because when I was young times, just like you, I heard the old folks playing sanshin, and then even before I was born, my mom, she was taking Okinawan dance lessons. So I heard the sound of the sanshin, and so even when I was small, I liked the sound, but I didn't have a chance to learn until I was an adult. So I wish I'd learned as a kid. Then I would be, you know, uh, a virtuoso by now, but I'm still hacking away at it. But yeah, I wish I could go back in time and find a teacher for myself. But maybe not too late yet. Um, uh, let's see. Let's see if there are any other questions. Oh, there's a good question in the that came in. The background image, it looks very interesting. Is there a story about that?
Is that for my background or your background
Your
or
back.
your book? Oh,
Mine is only yours get. Try move your head.
well, to me, yours is more interesting. 'Cause I like know what books you read.
Yeah,
Huh? It's like you learn a lot about the person by looking at what they read.
of course. I just bought them.
Okay,
I
so
never read them.
mine is the cover to the anthology, Chiburu, right? Anthology of Hawaii Okinawan Literature, right? It's by Best Press. There's a lot of awesome writers from Hawaii uh, sharing their experience as being local Okinawans.
And um, who drew that or who did the art for that?
Oh, okay.
Was
You
I think it
asking
was
very
Scotty.
complicated question.
Yeah, I think it was
Okay,
as my friend Scotty. But
okay. So the cover art is by Candice Soon, but
oh, Candace.
but it's based on a photograph by photographer Gordon Uehara, and the
Oh, I got it
model
wrong.
is Scotty Moriyama. Yeah, so it was just a photo, and then
Oh,
so
okay.
from the photo, like Candice kind of like embellished it because I explained to her like the theory, right? The theory is that he's in Hawaii, he's staring off, looking into the homeland, right? So she added all like the embellishments of like the until you can see the full cover, yeah? But
Oh,
from the design now, because the clouds kind of look Okinawan-y, like the design, now you can tell, right? That oh yeah, he must be looking towards Okinawa now, right? And then if you look at the pattern on the ocean now, oh, that kind of looks like the back of one whale shark. Yeah, I thought,
oh,
yeah. So oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah. So it
huh.
was a
Beautiful
team of
color.
like those three guys that came up with our awesome cover.
Cool. Well, thanks, Lee. It's been
Thank
fun,
you,
good
Wes.
fun talking with you. We got to do this more often, yeah.
I know, but
So
for years we was meaning for Talk Story,
yeah,
and
sorry
then
about
finally they put us together, and now we can actually talk story.
that. Yeah, we should do this informally too. But thank you also to our audience, and this is a reminder to check out Lee's stories on Discover Nikkei, which you can find in the live chat or the video description. Um, and I'd like to say that it was fun talking with Lee. It was so comfortable, and I like the parallels you drew between Okinawan culture uh, and local pidgin English and the local culture, things that we're so ashamed about. But it takes a lot of work to get us to think that hey, that we don't have to be ashamed about how we speak, what we do, what we eat. So I'd like to thank you, Lee, for doing your important, very important. You don't know how important it is, but the important culture work. So thank you very much. Let
Thank you,
me
Wes.
in the you're welcome, but thank you. And before we got a little bit more time,
So you can sing for us, so we can do like Kachashi now at the end. Oh,
maybe,
no,
but
that's
I
not what
gotta
you say.
maybe at the end. But let me give you like some announcements of upcoming Discover Nikkei programs.
Oh, okay.
So Discover Nikkei has many more virtual programs planned for 2024. Up next on March 9 is a virtual program exploring cultural identity through Okinawan Asa, the drum dance Asa. The program will feature panelists from groups in Hawaii, Dallas, and Los Angeles in the US, Peru, and Brazil, and will have simultaneous translation in English, Spanish, and Portuguese. They will also have an optional interactive workshop afterwards. Visit Discover Nikkei's website for more details and to register for the Zoom program. The next episode of Nima Voices will be in June with Stanley Kirk, originally from Canada but now lives in Japan, where he teaches English at the Institute for Language and Culture at Konan University in Kobe. Hear from Stan about his research into Japanese Canadians who were exiled to Japan at the end of World War II. Uh, Please check their website regularly, sign up for the email list, or follow them on social media to find out about an upcoming poetry reading in May, future episodes of Nima Voices, and more. Uh, and finally, Discover Nikkei would love to hear from you. Contact them at there's e- uh, a site here, editor at discovernikkei.org, with your feedback and suggestions for future episodes and programs. Um, I think we came to the end, but I'm not sure if we're going to sign off. But for Lee, I'm going
All
to do the
right.
katsashi. Okay, thanks,
All
Lee.
right. Thank you, Wes.
Thank you,
You're the
Lee.
best.
Thank you, everyone.